Now to an investigation by the Australian newspaper today. A Chinese fishing magnate blacklisted by the US government for human rights abuses at his company is a top donor and permanent honorary chairman of an influential China-Australia organisation. This organisation, Australia-China Economics, Trade and Culture Association, also has suspected links to the Chinese Communist Party. It's being dubbed the foremost Beijing influence and interference organisation in this country. That description, according to Australian academic and silent invasion author Clive Hamilton, who joins me now. Clive, thank you very much for your time this evening. Now, this is a really fascinating investigation that the Australian newspaper has done. Firstly, why has the United States blacklisted this fishing magnate, this businessman? What's he accused of doing? And if he's been blacklisted by the US, why hasn't Australia done the same?
Well, very good questions. This Chinese businessman who runs a large fleet of fishing vessels, or some 100 vessels, his name is Zhuo Xinrong, has been accused a number of times of engaging in human rights abuses of basically the crew on his vessels. Also a lot of illegal fishing. Various countries have complained about him and banned his vessels from being in their waters. And so the United States used the Magnitsky Act to apply sanctions to him, frozen assets, kicked off the stock exchange. I mean, he really is a bad actor that the US has now called out. And so the big question is, why is he active in Australia? Why is he involved in this organisation you mentioned, the Australia-China Economics, Trade and Culture Association, or ASETCA, where he is an honorary chairman and appears to be a significant donor, and he is well regarded in this organisation, clearly. And so he seems to be operating in Australia as a United Front operative, and yet until this story broke, these links weren't apparent, or certainly the Australian government was doing nothing about it. And I guess he still has a visa to come in and out of Australia as he wishes. So it does really pose a hard question to the Home Affairs Minister in the first instance, but also the Attorney General, because why is this organisation, of which this man is a prominent part, not listed on the Foreign Influence Transparency Register? There are some significant issues here for the government.
Look, I think it's fascinating, because it can't be the case that our intelligence agencies didn't know about this individual, this businessman, this fishing magnate's background, the fact that he's been blacklisted by the United States, our closest intelligence sharing partner. And, you raise the foreign influence and interference legislation. It's only been used a very small number of times. So what's happening in Australia? Are we not using our agencies? Is it an issue with the government that it's not using the legislation that it has available to it?
Well, I think it's pretty apparent that there are still some very significant, powerful and influential Chinese Communist Party United Front organisations operating in Australia that you won't find anywhere on the Foreign Influence Registry. Now, the question is, has the Attorney General's Department written to these organisations with a kind of show cause? Because, if people like me using open source information can establish very strong evidence that these organisations are working on behalf of the Communist Party of China in Australia, why are they not there?